Stand by for action.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Bescheuertes Gottesbein. My name is Lea and you will shortly see me as well. Welcome back to the Asia... Oh. Hello everyone and welcome back to Bescheuertes Gottesbein. Oh, sorry, there is my audio from my stream as I'm monitoring it. Okay, sorry for that one. So, alright. Yeah. Asia Cup, 5th match. This time it's Bangladesh versus Sri Lanka. Welcome, welcome, one and all. And I will give you an update from the ground, which today is in Abu Dhabi. We are playing on a new surface, and therefore Sri Lanka, who have won the toss, have decided to bowl first because the fact that it is a new pitch and a look at the stats at Abu Dhabi should make it relatively clear that it is a ground where you would like to chase. So far so good. Let's have a look at the teams. We do have 11s both for Sri Lanka and Pakistan. Let's start with Sri Lanka. Number 1, Pathum Nissanka. At 2 is Kusal Mendis, the keeper. Number 3 is Kamil Mishara. Number 4 is Kusal Pereira. 5, Jared Asalanka, who is also the captain. Number 6 is Kamindu Mendes. At 7 we have Dasun Shanaka. At 8, Vanindu Hasaranga, who is back in the team. 9 is Dushmanta Chamira. 10 is Matisha Patirana. And Nuwan Tushara is the number 11. Let's go to Bangladesh. It is Pervez Hossain Emon at number 1, opening together with Tanzit Hassan. Liton Das, captain and keeper, is the number 3. Number 4 is Towit Hridoy. Yakar Ali at 5. Shamim Hossain at 6. Mahidi Hassan is the number 7. Number 8, hopefully a very good number 8. Shout out to Gary Naylor, is Rishad Hossain. Number 9 is Tanzim Hassan Saqib. At 10 is Shariful Islam. And the Fizz, Mustafizur the Fizz Rahman, brings up the tail. So, those are your teams for match number 5 of the Asia Cup. It's the first match for Sri Lanka in this competition. Bangladesh have already won against Hong Kong, as we covered live here on the channel. I think that Sri Lanka are probably the stronger team here. But as Farong said in the Gorilla Cricket Discord, there is hope for Bangladesh because they might actually need only 2 more points to advance to the semi-finals, which, it's interesting. It's an interesting feeling for Bangladesh to survive the group stages in a tournament. It's not an ICC tournament, obviously, because it's just the Asia Cup. It's the Asian Cricket Council as the organizers here. Well, yesterday Pakistan beat Oman. There were some wobbles in it, in that victory for Pakistan, as is basically a tradition for Pakistan at this point. There's a reason they are called the Mercurial team, and a very very interesting debut in the Asia Cup for Oman, who have qualified first time ever, I think, and after a rather heartening last match of the tri-series for them, where they ran Afghanistan incredibly close. They were in it basically for most of the match, and they were chasing, and up until the last over, and I think it was the last 3 or 4 balls, which was quite funny because it took place. That was the last stage of the group match of the triangular series that served as a warm-up to the Asia Cup between Pakistan, Afghanistan and Oman. Oh no, that's the Arab Emirates. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. Forget everything I said. But Oman, um, they they threatened Pakistan, and when Pakistan had around 100 runs on the board, it looked like there might actually be a collapse on the cards. As we are now seeing the teams on the screen, I read them out earlier. So yeah, let's have a look if anyone is with us. We have Rhubarb in the chat. Hi Rhubarb, welcome back. Yeah, a reminder to everyone. Please, if you are watching this, hit the like button. That really helps the channel. And if you don't want to miss any of the Asia Cup coverage that I have coming up for this edition of the tournament, also subscribe if you haven't done so already. I guess I will stream India versus Pakistan tomorrow, because that's the big one, isn't it? Or normally it is the big one. ESPN Cricinfo, Wasim Jaffer was commenting that it's the big one, but without a lot of the fervor. So yeah, don't know what's going on there, but if you are commentating on the Asia Cup, you want to commentate on India versus Pakistan, because you don't get to commentate on an India versus Pakistan match all that often, owing to political realities and shitheads in power in both places. Yeah. So I will do that. So look forward to that tomorrow, same time. Same channel, 4:30 for me in the afternoon here in in the Central European Standard Time Zone, because I am in Germany, in Western Germany to be precise. Not that it matters, because Germany only has one time zone. We are not that big of a country. Anyway, we are seeing that the anthems coming up on the screen. So, with still a bit of time left before the match starts, do any of you have any predictions? What do you think? Who do you think will win it today? My money, or probably the smart money, will be on Sri Lanka here, I guess. They are rocking a rather simple yet striking kit. It's yellow, with the yellow Sri Lanka written in a blue box, blue sleeves. Apparently, the kit is manufactured by Adidas, as seen on the shoulders. There are the 3 stripes. Yeah, it's a bit of a downgrade, I would say, from what I hold to be the gold standard of a Sri Lanka cricket kit, which is the one they had during the 2019 World Cup, where they made a big deal about it being manufactured from recycled plastic that was recovered from basically a plastic trash floating island in the middle of the Pacific, where some ocean currents converge. All the plastic is drawn out to the middle of the Atlantic, and it aggregates where some ocean currents converge in the middle of the the Pacific. Sorry. Something like that. That was a really nice design. There was a turtle on it. It was predominantly blue. The yellow was a bit lighter, but not a bad kit overall. Yeah, so what has happened in the tournament thus far? We have had no shockers as of yet. Afghanistan beat Hong Kong in the opening match, which I found rather interesting. That was not that much of a problem. even though the Afghans probably lost a few wickets more than they would have liked, but in the end, their openers Sadiq and Gulbadin Naib, with help from the inevitable Mohammad Nabi, saw them to a very, very, very competitive total of 188. Hong Kong not in with any shots. A bit of controversy in the first match was the dismissal of the Hong Kong opener Anshi Rat, who was controversially, I think, given out by the on-field umpire despite there being daylight between bat and ball. He didn't review it though, so he had to trot off, and he was furious with probably both the umpire and himself. After seeing replays on the screen in the dugout, as we are now seeing the Bangladesh team as the Bangladesh hymn is played. Fun fact: I think if I remember correctly, either the lyrics or the music were written by the same guy that wrote the Indian national anthem. So those two are the only anthems that were written by a person that has written more than one national anthem. I found that to be a fascinating fact. Yeah, interesting. The Bangladesh kit is quite interesting as well. From afar, it looks a bit like a reverse Kaneda from Akira. The main part of the shirt, the body of the shirt, is the torso is red. There is green running down the shoulders, but not down to the band of the sleeve, to the sleeve band. There's some. They are in dark blue, and there is some lighter. They're in green. Sorry, they're in green. There are some lighter green highlights on it that look a bit like a mixture of, well, tribal tattoos and Celtic knot patterns. An interesting kit, I think. Well, I like it. But I also like the more intricate kits that Bangladesh have had. The ones that were basically blue as a base color, blood red Bangladesh across the chest, and some more highlights, something like that. Yeah, that concludes now the singing of the national anthems. The stadium is relatively well filled. Most of the matches in this Asia Cup, I think, have taken place in front of very few spectators. There seems to be, by the standards of the United Arab Emirates, there seems to be a good crowd in today. Sri Lanka are now in their huddle. They, reminder, have won the toss, decided to field based on the fact that it is a fresh pitch that will be used today, and also looking at the stats of the cricket ground in Abu Dhabi, the cricket stadium in Abu Dhabi. Historically, it has been a very, very good venue to chase. There are shots of some very tense looking Bangladeshi supporters, probably well aware of the fact that it is a disadvantage to have to set a score in the first innings here. Out come the batsmen, the Bangladeshi openers that are, let me have a look, it should be Emon and Tanzit. Yep, there seems to be Emon and Tanzit Hassan is his opening partner. Now my screen is frozen. No, we are back. All good. Pictures are back again. Yes, it is Emon and Tansit. Let's have a look if they show some of the stats. And I have not seen who is going to open the bowling for Sri Lanka as of yet. Let's have a look at who are the umpires for this match. It's Faisal Afridi and Rohan Pandit. Faisal Afridi from Pakistan and Rohan Pandit from India. The TV umpire is Virender Sharma, and the reserve umpire is Asif Yaqub. Richie Richardson is the match referee, and if I am not mistaken, that is the same crew that officiated the first match, the one with the horrible decision against Rat. Now we are seeing Nuwan Tushara is opening the bowling. 23 matches, 30 wickets, average a shade under 19 for him in his T20 international career. He is right medium fast, the scorecard tells me. That he's a right-hander, I knew. That he's a pace bowler, I knew as well. It's always the how do we classify pace bowlers? That's a whole other can of worms. Right medium fast, fast medium, stuff like that. In he comes, right arm over the wicket to the left-hander. Oh, just a second. To Tansit is the left-hander. And there is no run, a dot ball to begin the innings. Excuse me, a bit dry throat. Let's have a sip of Hamburg's finest to cure that ill. Yeah, that helps. Anyway, in he comes again. Tushara, relatively round arm his action, and again, Tansit can only defend that, and there is no run. Not quite as round arm as Malinga was. As we are seeing a replay, and we are seeing that Tansit is actually a little bit late. He's trying to block that in front of his front pad. Misses it though, but there is no appeal for LBW, as the angle is probably bad for that one. Next one is played out to a mid wicket, where it is stopped and there is no run. Interestingly, there seems to be a very, very backwards square leg, almost in the position where I would put a leg gully for Tansit in these first deliveries. There is also, well, it's almost a gully, or if you are charitable, a very, very short third man on the onside. Thus far, no runs have been scored. Bangladesh remain 0 for 0 after 0.4 overs. 2 deliveries left in Tushara's first over. We are now seeing the batting order for Bangladesh, but as far as I can tell, it is the one that I told you up top. In comes Tushara, right arm over the wicket and played out to mid-off by Tansit. Bangladesh remain without score. Very, very good from Tushara thus far. Yeah, the Sri Lankan batting lineup now: Nisanka, Mendes, Mishara, Pereira, Asalanka, Shanaka. Okay, that seems to be all good. Final delivery of the first over. Tushara coming in right arm over the wicket, and he has clean bowled Tanzit, who is looking for an almighty heave. His off stump is out of the ground. I think it's the off stump. And Bangladesh lose their first wicket without scoring. Perfect first over from Tushara. Let's have a look at the replay of that one. Yes, it's the off stump as it pitches on an off stump line. Then it seems back in as the left-hander is looking to smite Tushara. There is no other word, or to clobber him over long on. Mistimes the shot, and the off stump is sent taking a lie down. Perfect first over from Tushara. Sri Lanka, who started as favorites anyway, will now be way out in front. ESPN Cricket Info has them as favorites at around 65%. Let's have a look if anyone else is with us in the chat. Reminder, if you are watching on YouTube, please do write to me, write in your thoughts, your predictions, anything you want to talk about. It's basically a free-for-all, just a bit like at Guerrilla Cricket, and the same rules obviously apply. Don't be shitheads. If I see any bigotry and stuff like that, there will be timeouts handed out, and if that doesn't help, be assured that I don't hesitate to ban people for egregious lapses in judgment. Chamira is coming in. He is bowling right arm over the wicket to the left-handed Amon, and he plays that out to a mid-wicket. There is again no run. There is now the player that was stationed at very short third man, Gully. He moved a bit more towards the wicketkeeper, and he is probably a third slip at this point. There are no other slips in. Very, very standard T20 field. Otherwise, there is mid on, mid off. Mistimed shot from Amon as Chamira is coming in right arm over the wicket again. Gets an under edge onto his own toes. And there is no run as he is hobbling around. That must have hurt. Maybe hit his small toe. And as we all know, it's a cricket ball, it's hard, and it's a fairly new cricket ball as well. Replays of the wicket. First wicket to fall. And in comes Chamira, and Amon is trying to heave him into the leg side. Mistimes the ball, mistimes the shot again, and Liton Das, his partner, the captain and wicketkeeper who came in at number 3 after that first dismissal of the innings, that was Tanzit. He is looking tense at the non-strikers, and thus far the Bangladeshi batsmen have been unable to score off. Well, there have been only 2 Sri Lankan bowlers, granted. And there is an appeal for caught behind as Amon is aiming a drive at one that is angled across him. It looks like he has gotten an outside edge. Keeper appealing, bowler appealing, and the fans are ecstatic in the stands. And it is true, it is given out on the field. Have the Bangladeshis reviewed that? If they did, that's a very, very bad decision, because that is a clear outside edge. And Amon has to go. So both both openers for Bangladesh have to go for ducks, and well, that is remarkable. Mendes was up immediately after palming that, after gloving that edge. That should bring Hridoy out into the middle at number 4 for Bangladesh. Thus far, no score for them. 2 more deliveries left in the second over of the match. That is bowled by Chamira, who is doing a very, very good job. Well, I mean, nothing against Tushar, who bowled the first over. He bowled a wicket maiden, and the 5th delivery is also a wicket maiden, and there is a chance here that something that I can't consciously remember ever having seen. 2 wicket maidens to start a T20 innings. Can anyone remember two wicket maidens to start a T20 innings? I think I have never seen that, to be honest. And that makes it official. It is another wicket maiden. 2 wicket maidens to open the innings. We have Nathan, Minsk and Boost Clip Corner, with us over on YouTube. Hello, Nathan. How are you? How is everyone? How has your day been? Hopefully all is well. Were a few very, very confusing or a few weird days online and in the media. Let's be honest about it. All that stuff about the death of Charlie Kirk and the reactions to it. It was frankly frightening. But we're not going to talk about that. We are here to get away from all that shit. We are here to watch some cricket. Third over is bowled by Tushara again, who now has a slip for, I think it is Liton Das. Yes, the right-hander. Liton Das, first time there is a right-hander on strike in this match, comes in the third over. Amazing. Amazing, and he starts the third over with a dot ball to a delivery by Tushara outside of stump. In comes Tushara again. This time he bowls too tight onto the stumps, and it is clipped off the pads of Liton Das, and that is the first run that goes onto the Bangladesh scoreboard. Bangladesh 1 for 2 after 2.2 overs. Liton Das, the first Bangladesh batsman to score. He came in at number 3 inside of the first over. He came in the first over because Amon was dismissed of the final delivery of the first over. So technically he comes in the first over. Hridoy came in the second over, another wicket maiden bowled by Chamira. He is now back on strike. He is now facing Tushara. Right over the wicket to Hridoy, and that one is another dot ball. Well, that's not a very good scoring rate thus far for the Tigers. The current run rate is 0.7, and we are in the third over of a T20 international, and the scoring rate is 0.7. In comes Tushara again to Hridoy, who plays that out towards point where it is stopped, and there is again no run. we are seeing some pitch maps, and interestingly enough, they label the full part of the pitch, or the fuller length. They label that as the slot, which I think is a bit oversimplified. Not everything that is full is in the slot, but they call it the slot. Okay, but they show that Tansit played dot balls from balls, or made dot balls from balls that were in the slot. The one delivery that was on a length to Tansit in this match produced the wicket. So, yeah, maybe, interestingly enough, maybe the Sri Lankan bowlers have earned too full in this match thus far. Yeah. Anyway, let's have a look if anyone is with us after this delivery, because this is the final delivery of the second over, and Bangladesh are currently 2 for 2 after Hridoy got that single. Now Liton Das playing one out towards mid-wicket. He pierces the infield. There are two fielders running after that delivery, and this is the first time that Bangladesh have scored more than one run off a delivery, and they end the third over on 4 for 2. Let's have a look. Nope, no one else with us. Yeah, if you are watching this on YouTube, please do get in touch. Do not forget to like and subscribe. Subscribe if you don't want to miss any more coverage of the Asia Cup. I think I am pretty alone in covering the Asia Cup in English without any geo-blocking or regional blackouts or stuff like that over here on YouTube Live, because Gorilla Cricket are busy with the South Africa versus England series, and after that probably England versus Ireland. Now it is Hridoy's time to make more than one run off delivery, as he plays one out into the leg side as well. And wow, this time the Sri Lankan fielders were so caught off guard that the Bangladeshis actually snuck in 3 all-run threes. I think that's the first. Is it the first 3 of the tournament? Not 100% sure of that, but it is absolutely the first 3 of the match. And in comes Chamira again, right arm over the wicket, outside the off stump. That is probably it's pitching very close to a good length. It is on the shorter end of full, and that is now on a strike is Liton Das, and he is looking to fish outside his off stump, misses it. Very lucky that he doesn't get an edge to that one. Mendes behind the stumps would absolutely have loved that. Next one is defended into the ground, bounces up towards point where it is fielded. There is again no run. 7 for 2 remains the score for Bangladesh in the innings. We are seeing now a close-up of the pitch. There are some cracks in it. It's not as green as some of the pitches we have seen in this tournament. I would say it's a pretty standard Emirates pitch, as Litonas again fishes outside his off stump against Chamera. The ball is seaming away from him, and there is no run again. there's a bit of disappointment on the faces of some of the Sri Lankan fielders that there is no further wicket, but let's have the field: mid-off, cover, point, backward point, deep third, short, fine leg, deep backward point, and mid-on. In comes Chamira again, right arm over the wicket, and this one is played out to mid-on by Liton Das. There is no run. One delivery left in the fourth over, which means we have had 23 deliveries. 23 deliveries have been bowled in this match, 19 of which have been dots. Extraordinary stuff. Extraordinary. Liton Das is on strike. He is on 3 of 7. At the other end, it's Hridoy. He is Towit Hridoy. He's on 4 of 6. Chamira figures of 1 for 3 from 1.5 overs. Final delivery. Slip is out. And this one is defended back into the onside by Liton Das. There is no run. So 24 deliveries have been bowled, 20 of which have been dot balls. Let's have a look if anyone is with us. Again, go ahead, use the chat. It's always good to hear from the people watching. Like, subscribe. I will be doing India versus Pakistan tomorrow as well, because of course you have to do it if you are commentating on on the Asia Cup. India, Pakistan, you have to take that. So, next to bat would be Yakarali. Upon the fall of a wicket, Bangladesh should send in Yakarali. Now we are seeing him. Yes, there he is. He's all padded up, sitting there with his helmet on. The lid is on. As we are now seeing, there's a distance of around 24 meters between mid-off and cover. Then point is 60 meters to the left of cover. There is another dot ball to start the 5th over, which is bowled by Tushara again. We are now seeing highlights of Liton Das, who made a 50 in his last match against Hong Kong, which was quite a fine innings, one has to say. In again comes Tushara, and this one is airborne, and that one is dropped. It is dropped in the outfield, in the offside. It went a long way up in the air, and it is dropped. That's not ideal. That's definitely not ideal. Let's see who that was. Well, Hridoy was looking to play a lofted cover drive. It looks like it's cover that dropped it. Sanath Jayasuriya in the Sri Lankan dugout is looking pensive. They run 2 for that one. That's a dropped catch. Absolutely. Next one is swivel pulled by Hridoy, and they run for another. They are trying for 2 runs, and there is a run out. They wanted too much there. Tawid Hridoy is run out at the striker's end after Bangladesh try to sneak in a couple here. Let's see who is the fielder. Hridoy is on his stomach, lying down. He can't believe it. He dove in, and I think it's Mishara, the fielder. It's a direct hit. Indeed it is. There would have been a player backing up. So good presence of mind, or good fielding from Sri Lanka there. Absolutely. And Towi Tridoy is about a meter out of his ground on his on his on his belly in the dust, and Bangladesh are 11 for 3 in the 5th over. Oh dear, oh dear. Let's see if let's see what is going on in the YouTube chat. Nathan said, good seam movement, Chamira bringing the express. But yes, he has been very good. And exactly what is Sri Lanka looking for, sending the opposition into bed? Well, okay, look. This is in a T20 international, in a T20 match. It is in today's basically in the meta game, the tactics and the strategies. It is generally advantageous to chase because you have seen what the opposition is doing on that pitch. You have seen what the ball is doing, how the ball is behaving. Your bowlers can maybe evaluate the pitch a bit better after having seen it, and they can tell the batsman what's going on. All the batsmen have obviously also seen what the pitch is doing. But the giant advantage, the one that everyone wants, is you can pace your innings. You know what the target is. And you have a plan in speaking it in percentages, for example, as I'm just giving you who is bowling. Tushara continues, and it is Mahedi who is the batsman now. A single to Litan Das, and now Mahedi is on strike for the first time. So you have the giant advantage that you can pace your innings. You know you have to get a certain percentage of your runs in the power plays, then you get another certain percentage of your runs in, I don't know, the next 5 overs, blah blah blah, and you can pace your innings. You can control the speed of scoring. And it's not an unknown. And I have to interrupt myself here because we have the first boundary of the match, 5th delivery of the 5th over is the first boundary, and it is for 4, and it was hit by Mahedi Hassan of Chamira. Very, very good on drive from him here. There is a no fielder in range, and that is 4 runs. There is a slip in place again for Mahedi, and Chamira comes back from that 4 with a wide Yorker that Mahedi Hassan raises his bat to, lets it dribble through to Mendes, the keeper, and there is no run. So 16 for 3. So first of all, the pitch is not an unknown, and you can pace it. Every good, or all the great captains in T20 international cricket have mastered the art of the chase today, because during the last or since T20 started becoming a thing in cricket, cricket has taken a page out of the baseball book and has brought in analysts. So T20 is around since 2005 on the international stage, and since 2002 as a professional game. Before that, it was basically trialed in youth and village cricket in England. The first T20 international was between Australia and New Zealand, and they were taking it as kind of a joke. One of the New Zealand players was playing in an Afro wig. So that's how serious that was. And next one, and next over is bowled by Dasun Shanaka, another pace bowler, and Litan Das very, very fortunate here, as one falls a bit short of fly slip. The Bangladeshis get 2 for it. In comes Dasun Shanaka again. Another 3 quick runs this time. Oh no, it's a, oh sorry, that's a repeat of the run out. Make it obvious that it's a replay, you muppets. Liton Das is now facing second 4 of the innings, lofted on drive. So yeah, they the game has been analyzed a bit like baseball. It's obviously not as easily analyzed as baseball, because baseball has a lot more, well, let's put it this way, it's a lot easier to describe in bare numbers, all this on base percentage, on base plus slugging, stuff like that, sabermetrics, all that good stuff. The game is most of the time a lot more static, in that you have 9 fielders. You have 9 fielders. One of them is a pitcher or position players. One of them is a pitcher. Then you have 8 position players. One of them is a catcher. So in the end, you have 7 guys being able to field, and they generally field at the traditional position. That's what I mean with a bit more static. In cricket, you can't do that, and we have a hit amidships. Liton Das has his balls cracked by Shanaka. There is an LBW appeal from the Sri Lankans, but no one is really convinced to waste a review on that one, even though Liton Das is not the tallest man in the world. His crotch is way, way above the level of the bales. In comes Shanaka, final delivery of his over, and this one is guided past the fly slip, finds the boundary, back at third man, and that is another 4 runs to Liton Das, who now races away to 18 of 15. 30-3 Bangladesh. The run rate is up to 5 now. So yeah, and with all that analysis, there you can make better plans for the games, and the better the more information you have, the better you can formulate your plans. That's basically it. And one of the most critical information, or the most critical information, is the state of the pitch. And if you chase, you get some information on the state of the pitch that the team batting first doesn't have. So that's a giant advantage. And now Rubab is asking who is the best T20 captain ever. Well, I am. Well, there's an argument to be made for MS Dhoni to be the best T20 captain ever. Not only in the international arena, but also in the domestic or in the franchise games. We have Matisha Patirana coming in for Sri Lanka in the meantime, and now it is pace. Now it is pace. He is not a medium bowler. He is right arm fast. Also very slingy the action from him. And he starts his over, his first of the night, with consecutive singles. So Bangladesh move on to 32-3. As we are seeing a replay of the wicket. Yeah, I would argue for MS Dhoni as being probably the best T20 captain ever. I mean, the man has played in every edition of the IPL. and he only recently stepped down as captain of Chennai Super Kings. I think he captained them for 13 or 14 seasons. And I think there is a reason he captained them for that long, because he's always thinking about the game. He is the first one, for example, something you see a lot nowadays. If you are, for example, if your final over is bowled by a pace bowler and the keeper is standing back from the stumps, you can expect that there is a direct hit from the outfield, but I think the batsman is safe. It knocks off the bails, but because the batsman is in his crease, they now start to run, because it's a pace bowler and everyone is well away from the stumps at the striker's end. So now someone has to run with the ball in hand and take out a stump physically out of the ground. So, the attempt at a run out results in a run for the Bangladeshis. I will continue about this MS Dhoni stuff at the end of the over, because now it is heating up a bit. I would say this is the first wide, the first extra of any kind of the innings, and it is a wide against Patirana. As we can see, 47% thus far have been on a length bowled by the Pacers. Both wickets that have fallen to balls on a length. Swivel ball by Liton Das, and it is stopped at deep backward square leg, and the Bangladeshis have run a single. They have run a single, a mere single. 36 for 3 now. As we are seeing the bowling options, Tushara and Shamira both have 1 wicket. The other one, Hridoy, was a run out. Attempt at a hook shot as Patirana is bowling a short one to Liton Das. There is an appeal, but the on-field umpire is unmoved by the appeal. Do they review? No, it doesn't look like it. So end of the over, 36 for 6. So if your final over in a T20 is bowled by a pace bowler and the keeper is standing back from the stumps, you can expect during the final delivery of a T20 that no matter what happens, the batsman will attempt a run, and that run will score, or maybe even 2. And the only way to prevent that run from scoring is a run out, either at the striker or at the non-striker's end. And to maximize his chances to effect a run out on the final delivery, for example, Dhoni was the first to do this. Dhoni generally doesn't keep with only 1 glove if the final over is bowled by a pacer and he is standing back. He is taking off his right glove, so that in case he catches or stops the ball, it basically doesn't matter if he drops it. But he can then take the ball in his ungloved hand and can try to hit the stumps directly behind the stumps. The best case scenario for a direct hit, basically. So that's a tactic that's common nowadays, and that was started by Dhoni. His field settings are diabolical, and he seems to be just all around a very, very good T20 captain, as there is a very, very weird reverse sweep that brings 2 runs, but the next delivery, Mahedi Hassan tries to defend one that is bowled by Hasaranga, the leg break bowler, and he misses it, underestimates the spin, I think. It has been given out LBW as Mahedi is down on one knee, looking to defend it, looking to come down the pitch to negate the spin. Doesn't come down far enough to negate the spin, and is hit plumb in front, just below the knee roll. That one is indeed plumb in front. He's a victim of a googly, because that one spins into him, into the right-hander from the leg break bowler. Mahedi Hassan has to go. He's bowled. He's LBW bowled Hasaranga. He has to go for 9. And that means that now Bangladesh are 39 for 4. And Yakar Ali is coming in at number 6 for Bangladesh. Let's have a look what people are saying. Rubab says, yeah, MS Dhoni is a good shout. Yeah, he is. Even test wicketkeepers take one glove off nowadays. Yeah, sometimes they do, but in a T20 in the 20th over, it's a lot more common. Yeah, there are of course other great T20 captains as well. I in the IPL and in limited overs matches, Rohit Sharma used to be a pretty good captain, and he was also very good in tests for a time. And really, what is that? There is another appeal. This time it is against Liton Das, and it is again by Hasaranga, and it is almost a copy of the dismissal, the last dismissal, because he is also given out. It's basically the same. It's the same as the one to Mahedi Hassan. Liton Das is looking to come down the pitch, defend it, negate the spin, and it looks like he is again, like he's also a victim of Wanindu Hasaranga. This time it's not a googly, it's more of an arm ball, one that goes on with the arm. Liton Das expects this to spin, which it doesn't. He is given out on the field, but he has reviewed it and he is saved. He is saved by a very, very faint inside edge that he got onto that one. So the on-field umpire, that should be the Pakistani umpire there, has to overturn his decision. Liton Das remains not out. Bangladesh 39 for 4 after 7.4 overs. Yeah, Rohit Sharma kind of lost his mojo during his last test tour as a captain. In comes Hasaranga, right arm over the wicket, defended. There is no run, smothered really by Liton Das into the ground. There is no run. Final delivery of the 8th over is coming up now. There is a slip. In comes Liton Das, and in comes Wanindu Hasaranga, and Liton Das goes down on one knee and slog sweeps him over the leg side, finds the boundary, not before bouncing the ball inside the field of play though. So that is 4 runs, 43 for 4, and that is only the 5th 4 of the innings, I think. 4 of them belong to Liton Das, by the way. So yeah, let's have a look if anyone else is with us on the YouTubes. Nope. The last delivery, The last chat is that from Rhubarb. Even test wicketkeepers take one glove off nowadays. Yes. Yeah, but I remember during the early stage or the early years of the IPL. Yes, I'm that old. I started watching the IPL in 2008 because back in the day that was one of the few things in cricket we got in Germany. Shanaka is back into the attack. So some pace again. After that one over of spin from Wanindo Hasaranga. And he starts his over with a single. Yaka Ali, back of a length on the stumps, tucked around the corner of the hips for a single. As we are now seeing, there is a graphic that is pertinent to the last boundary that was struck. There was the distance between the two fielders that Liton Das perfectly dissected in the outfield was 50 meters. So both of them would have run around 25 meters to stop that ball. Next one, 2 runs for Liton Das, who moves on to 26. Bangladesh 46 for 4 after 8.2 overs now. Is Liton Das starting to look a bit, kind of fatigued? He was really tired at the end of his innings against Hong Kong in the last match. Him and his batting partner, they were not happy with. Maybe it's the heat. Probably it was the heat. There were a lot of drinks breaks in that match between Bangladesh and Hong Kong, and the physio had to come out. Even though it's a T20, the physio had to come out for cramps. Basically, it was that extreme. Shanaka aborts his run up. Liton Das is looking a bit irritated by that. Now he's taking guard again, getting back up again. Now he's taking guard again. Shanaka is coming in. This time it seems to be in earnest. And this one is a bit too leg sidey. It's not as bad as that it would be called a wide, clipped off the legs, and there is a single. As we are seeing ball tracking for the last wicket, the impact was actually umpire's call. They didn't review it. So Shanaka coming in, right arm over the wicket. This one is short and it is pulled by Yakar Ali for 2 runs. Stopped near the boundary in the onside by 2 Sri Lankan fielders. Let's see. Dasun Shanaka is the one Sri Lankan bowler that stands out. He's the only Sri Lankan bowler that has an economy rate over 5, I think. He's definitely the only one in double digits. In the there are two sixes in there, but he's the only one in double digits. 10.5 currently his economy rate. Patirana and Hasaranga also have a economy rate of 6 thus far. End of the 9th over. 1 more until drinks. 50 for 4 after 9 overs are the Bangladesh Tigers. Let's have a look. No new social media messages. Again, if you are watching this Please do use the chat. Use it extensively. I will read out your messages. Wanindu Hasaranga is back. And he has a slip again for Yakarali, but that slip can do nothing in this case because Hasaranga bowls it a bit too left-sidey and it is guided down to short fine leg by Yakar Ali, and the Bangladeshi run a single 51 for 4, flighted from Wanindu Hasaranga, swept towards deep backward square leg by Liton Das. And there is a single, and the last delivery to Yakar Ali, those were given as leg buys. Okay, now Yakar Ali is signaling that there is something wrong. Is there some problem with the side screen? I do not know. Now everything seems to be fine again. He is taking strike. In comes Wanindu Hasaranga, and that one sneaks through the gate as Yakar Ali is looking to defend it, and no one can believe that the bails did not light up. It missed everything. Dot ball for Yakar Ali. They are Mendes, the keeper, is actually testing if the bails light up. We're seeing a replay. What is that? There is consternation. The lights have flashed, but the bails have stayed on. Yes, yeah, exactly. There is. The lights have flashed, but the bails are on. So he's not out. That's not the point. But Mendes, the keeper, is very, very irritated by this. He knocks off the bails after the ball has been declared dead. But just as an explanation, the bails are only dislodged if they come to rest, not resting in the grooves. If they stop moving and they don't lay in the grooves, then it is out. What is that? That is the worst attempt at a reverse sweep I have ever seen. I think it's Liton Das. Liton Das is down, or is it Yakar Ali? No, it's Liton Das. Liton Das goes down on one knee, tries to play a reverse sweep to Wanindu Hasaranga. Seems to have gotten the top edge. The ball loops up into the air, is taken without any problems by Mendes, who is standing up to the stumps. And it might actually be glove, or is it forearm? The umpires are checking now. If it hits the wristband, if it loops up because Liton Das is through his shot way too early, overestimates the pace of this pitch. He's through the shot way too early, and the ball hits him, and it's not that clear if it is on his naked skin, which would mean not out, or if it hits him on the wristband of his glove, which is part of the glove and therefore would be out. Because Mendes takes it without any problems because he's standing basically right next to Liton Das, just behind the stumps. The ball loops up, maybe 3 meters in the air, and that is no problem for Mendes. We are now checking with Ultra Edge. And there is a sound. Yes, and it from this perspective, from side on, from point, basically, you can see that the ball hits the ball hits Litondas on the wristband. Mendes takes it behind the stumps, and that is out caught. He has to go. Litondas caught Mendes, bowled Hasaranga, 28 of 26 deliveries, 107 for the strike rate 107.69, and that means the Tigers are in deep, deep, deep trouble. 53 for 5, and the win probability is Sri Lanka 80%. This early in the match, after a quarter of the match, Sri Lanka's win probability is 80%. And that brings the rings. And let's have a look. Final social media messages before the drinks break. England haven't played Test cricket against Bangladesh in at least no, they have not. I don't know when Sri Lanka, when Australia played last against them. But if I am correct, it's 15 years since England have been to Bangladesh, because that was the first time that Sir Alistair Cook was ever a Test captain. He was only the stand-in because Andrew Strauss wanted to rest at the time in preparation of the last Ashes down under that England won. So please forgive me, I will have a short drinks break as well, and I will be with you in a few moments. Don't go anywhere, I'll be back. And we are back. Final delivery of Wanindu Hasaranga's second over coming up now. Shamim is the new batsman in, and he is off the mark with a single. Hasaranga ends his second over with figures of 2 for 10. Bangladesh 54 for 5 after 10. The run rate therefore is 5.4. Yes, England have not played Sri Lanka, Bangladesh in a very, very long time, and they haven't. I think they haven't been there since that 2010 tour when Alistair Cook stood in for Andrew Strauss, who was preparing for the 2010-11 Ashes. When England not only last won a Test series down under in Australia, it was also the last time they won a Test match in Australia. Yes, the last Test match that England won in Australia was the New Year's test at the MCG in 2011. That's the famous match that gets, I think, all of one paragraph in Jared Kimmer's book about the 2010-11 Ashes. That one is called Australian Autopsy. If you're interested, maybe you can find it secondhand. I think it is out of print at the moment. I don't know. Hopefully not. That's a cracking read. That one and When Freddie Became Jesus. But back to the cricket. Shamim Hussain has a strike rate of 126 in T20 internationals because he is back on strike. It's not that much happening at the moment out there in Abu Dhabi. The Bangladeshis are dealing mostly in singles. A single here, a single there. This time, again, there is a single of Shanaka, who is bowling his third over. Let's have a look at how many boundaries have there been. There has been no 6 in this match so far. There have only been 6 fours in this innings. 4 of them by Liton Das, the Bangladeshi captain, and Mahedi Hassan and Yaka Ali both have hit a single one. Now Shamim joins the fold as he sneaks one past the keeper that dribbles into the boundary rope. As Shanaka is looking to bounce him, basically. He's bowling a short one, and there is an edge on the hook shot from Yaka Ali. Edged, and that is 4 run at very fine leg for Yaka Ali. Bangladesh 59 for 5 now. In comes Shanaka again. Played to a deep square leg by Yaka Ali. Another single. Shamim is back on strike. He's 2 of 4. Yaka Ali, on the other hand, is on 11 of 9. Let's have a look. We've had 4 wickets taken by bowlers. One is a run out. We have Tushara, Chamira, and Hasaranga is the bowler that has taken more than 1 wicket. He has taken 2. Mahedi Hassan and Liton Das, the captain, as Shamim is now looking for a swivel scoop or swivel. Yeah, it's a swivel ramp scoop, something like that. He mistimes it. It doesn't go that far from the square, and there is no run after they thought about it for a moment. We saw the one white Eurasian couple in the crowd, probably. Somehow the cameraman made them out. They dutifully waved towards the camera. That was pretty fun. All around them, Bangladesh fans. Apparently they are seated in the Bangladesh section of the stadium, which is now has filled up a bit more since the start of the match. There is a good crowd in for this game today. As Charit Asalanka is coming in now. And he starts with a single. Yaka Ali takes a single of the first delivery that Charit Asalanka is bowling in this match. In he comes again, right arm around the wicket. Some spin to the right-hander Shamim, and there is another single played into the leg side. 60. No, those are two. They sneak through apparently for two. It's always interesting because sometimes they just run a single if they find the boundary rider in the leg side. Sometimes they run for two. And I think the next one is given as a leg by. Yaka Ali now on strike. In comes Lanka, and he stays right arm around the wicket. Sorry. Need to concentrate here. Right arm around the wicket to the right-hander, and there is another single in that one. Shamim is back on strike. The projected score, according to the broadcast, if they keep up their run rate that they are having right now, they will go to 111 to Nelson, as most English people or English cricket fans would say. Nelson, obviously, the man who won the Battle of Trafalgar, who had one arm, one leg, and one eye. So 111 is Nelson. There you go. Yeah. Bangladesh are dealing in singles here. And one word I have to say about the forecasts that the broadcaster provides on the screen for the Asia Cup. There is no algorithm behind those. This is straight up. If they keep up their run rate now, it will end in 111 based on the run rate, the current run rate, and the deliveries remaining. ESPN Cricinfo has Bangladesh projected to make 131 in their innings, because ESPN Cricinfo also takes into account run rate increase at the death, depending on how many wickets you still have in hand. So I would say their forecast is a better yardstick, or is closer to truth. The only gripe I have with those forecasts from ESPN Cricinfo is basically that their algorithm is proprietary, thus meaning it is not. You cannot see it. It's ours because it's Disney. It's copyrighted, stuff like that. So you can't evaluate the algorithm, see if there are any glaring issues or something like that. It's a lot different than statistics in baseball, which are based on the Society for the something. It's a backronym. It's called SABRE. And it's a statisticians association, and they basically they develop these analysis tools that all the teams and the fans and nerds use to evaluate baseball or to describe baseball in statistical terms, in analytical terms, and stuff like that. And all those algorithms and the formulae and stuff like that, all that is publicly available. It's all open source, and all the ESPN Cricinfo stuff is not. And that is sometimes kind of frustrating because they invent all their statistics, but they don't tell you how they arrived there. cheeky guide towards deep third man from Yakar Ali, and they take another single. So Shamim is back on strike. Bangladesh bring up their 70 for 5 after 12.4 overs. The first 2 wickets fell with no runs on the board. Then the third at 11. And Shamim has found the boundary. That means the 7th boundary of the innings has been hit. 74 for 5 as Padirana is deposited. By Shamim it was. He rolls his wrist over a short one. He gets his hands high in the air and he rolls his wrists over the ball, deadens it. It goes into the leg side, and there is the boundary. 74 for 5 after 12.5 overs. The run rate is now creeping up. They have brought up 20 in their partnership. I think that is the highest partnership. No, it's not. Liton Das and Mahdi Hassan had a partnership of 27 of 17 before that. So, the next one is another attempt at a run out as the Bangladeshis run a couple. There is an umpire's review for the run out as there is a direct hit from the outfield, and the decision is probably not out because I can see the batsman flying towards the crease, and no, the bat is grounded behind the crease as the ball is hitting the stumps. Nothing else of the batsman, by the way, is grounded at this point. He is mid-flight, pressing the bat down behind the crease as the ball hits the stumps. That's very, very good running from Shamim there. 2 runs, I think. 76 for 5 after 13 overs now, Bangladesh. Let's have a look if that does anything to the forecast from ESPN Crick Info. 134 the forecast. So, gone up slightly now, that over. That was a rather expensive over for Sri Lanka. It cost 9 runs, or brought Bangladesh 9 runs, depending on how you want to look at it. Shamim Hussain is on 12 of 12, and Yaka Ali on the other end is on 16 of 14. As we are seeing some more replays. For some reason, Mendes, the Sri Lankan wicketkeeper, is standing with his back to the stumps and is looking through his legs towards the stumps, has both his arms between his legs. Crazy. That's as we say in German, a Bild für die Götter, a picture for the gods, or a picture pleasing to the gods. Something like that would probably be the best translation of that one. Let's have a look at social media. Rhubarb, stand on one leg if they get to 111. Yeah, and look. First of all, I'm sitting. But I have my legs crossed, so that technically means it's all good. Yeah, no, I remember, who was it? Is it a I think it's a former TMS commentator, isn't it? Who was known for actually jumping on or hopping on one leg when a team was on Nelson. And he was, okay, now I see a replay, and that is something I didn't see live because he was out of shot. But Mendes, the keeper, was taking the catch from the outfield, from third man. He was taking the catch, so he was with his back to the wickets. He takes the catch with his gloves. He's standing with legs widespread, and he takes the catch and he goes down in one smooth motion and throws the ball between his legs at the stumps in an attempt to affect the run out. Wasn't successful this time, but anyway, in other news, we have another boundary. Hasaranga is bowling now again. He's bowling to Shamim, and Shamim basically slog sweeps him to the boundary for 4 runs, 83 for 5. That's honestly, I wouldn't have thought that Bangladesh would reach that, as Yakar Ali is taking a step back, giving himself room to cut Hasaranga. It is stopped inside the boundary at deep backward point, and the Bangladeshis run a single, I think. Yes, and it is 84 for 5 now. In comes Hasaranga again. Attempt at a defense from Yakar Ali. There is an appeal. The on-field umpire is unmoved, and it doesn't look like anyone is going to review that. No, Mendes, the keeper, is on his way to the other end. He is handed something by a member of staff. Is that a cap? As we are seeing Sanath Jayasuriya, who is the Sri Lankan coach, living legend in Sri Lanka, one of the greatest limited overs players of all time. I actually remember seeing him play in the IPL as well. He was something. Jayasuriya was something. But Bangladesh end the 14th over on 84 for 5, and that's a bit disrespectful from the Bangladeshi fans. They're doing the Nagin dance out in the stands, or at least some of them do. Which, yeah, don't do that, guys. You know how it ended for you the last time you did something like that. It ended in the final of the Nidahas Trophy against India, when Dinesh Karthik, former India wicketkeeper and current commentator and pundit on Sky Sports, maybe some of you know him, earned the nickname of the Snake Charmer. Because the Nagin dance is something reminiscent of a snake, and Nagin is Bangla for snake, I think. And India seemed out of the final. They seemed out of it when Dinesh Karthik came in, and he won India the match on the final delivery of the innings with a 6. The Bangladeshi Nagin dance has been a rare sight ever since then. They annoyed. They were very. The team was very disrespectful towards the Sri Lankans who hosted the Nidahas Trophy, which was a triangular series between India, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. And Shamim hits another 4. Everyone in the stands is hoping that it is a 6, but it is not. It's a cross-batted for into the offside over or with an angled bat. He muscles him towards cover, and it bounces just inside the ropes, and that is another 4 runs. 90 is up for Bangladesh now. Shamim on 24 of 18 and Yakare on 18 of 17. Yeah. So Patirana is the bowler at the moment, and we are now seeing some analysis of Hasaranga's variations: leg spin, top spin, googly. But back to Patirana, who's bowling his third over. Figures of none for 22 thus far. Bangladesh 91 for 5. 14.4 overs bowled. Current run rate is 6.2. Yaka Ali is on strike, and in comes Patirana. There is that slingy full toss. And Yaka Ali plays him out to a mid-off, and there is another single, 92 for 5. Yeah, Patirana has that slingy Malinga-like action. It doesn't really look like he has mastered what made Malinga so absolutely deadly. The fact that with this round arm action, the seam is horizontal, and as you all know, cricket balls generally, swing bowlers bowl with an upright seam, and the ball moves laterally through the air. With Malinga and these, which is starting to become a genre of bowler that basically only Sri Lanka fields, the round arm slingers. With them, the seam is horizontal. That means the ball does not move literally if they find swing. It drops less than expected if it's swinging to basically the top half, towards the top half, or it is dropping rapidly and unexpectedly. So it's a sinker in baseball terms, basically. So this is how these slingers can actually deceive the batsman through the air. Something that generally is a spinner's tool, beating batsmen in the air. You normally don't hear that in regards to pace bowlers, but with these Sri Lankan slingers, that is absolutely a viable tactic. But Patirana doesn't seem to have mastered it to the extent that Malinga has done or had done. And Hasaranga is back. Yakar Ali is on strike for the second delivery after Shamim took a single off the first ball. Yakar Ali also takes a single with a slog sweep, and that is 95 for 5 for Bangladesh. 15.2 overs gone, the run rate 6.2. Let's have a look. I will come to your messages after this over. Another sweep going down on one knee is Shamim, and that is 96 for 5 after 15.3 overs. Current run rate 6.19. Yeah, 16.19 would be that's T10 territory, actually. 43 these two have now put on together, and that is without a doubt the biggest partnership in Bangladesh's innings. Second highest was Liton Das and who was it? It was Liton Das in partnership with Mahedi Hassan. Yes, okay, with Mahedi Hassan. They made 27. This is 44 of 35 deliveries now. In comes Hasaranga, right arm around the wicket to the left-handed Shamim, and that one is lofted into the offside, but it is stopped by the fielder coming around from long on, who intercepts it at deep cover, and there is a single, 99 for 5. So triple figures are within reach for Bangladesh now. Let's have a look. 99 for Bangladesh, and a single brings up triple figures for them. Bangladesh 100 for 5 after 16 overs. Hasaranga to Shamim Hossain, 1 run, length on the stumps, played out towards mid-on of the back foot. There is a single, and that means the 16th over has gone for 7 runs. Shamim Hossain is on 31, Yakrali on 21. Wanindu Hasaranga has bowled 4 overs, no maidens, taken 2 for 25, and Matisha Patirana at the other end, 3 overs, none for 24. Tushara is back. He is bowling out now because he has already bowled 3 overs. He has figures of 1 for 13 from those 3 overs. That's excellent figures in a T20. That's excellent figures. That is an economy of just a little over 4. In he comes, bowled onto the toes of Shamim, who clips him into the leg side. There is a single, 101 for 5, 16.1 overs gone. Oh, I said I would read social media. Nathan says Superman dived to save the run out. I don't know if I've seen someone fully airborne and the bat saves them. Yeah, you will see that occasionally. It's not that common, but you will see it here or there. And Rubab says, don't know if you like football, but Nick Woltemate has scored on his debut in the English Premier League. No, it's less that I don't like football. It's more that I don't understand football, and therefore I can't really. Let's put it that way. I can't really appreciate football. It might be great, and I'm sure it is great if you are into it. It's just not my thing. So, if you like it, more power to you. You do you. But if you ask me a question about football, I'm pretty sure I can't answer that. Next one, Tushara is bowling, and there is an inside edge that goes past Mendes at keeper. There is a player coming around, stopping it just just before the boundary at backstop, basically. Diving save. And that means Bangladesh are 104 for 5 after 16.3. Shamim is on strike. He's on 32 of 26. In comes Tushara, right arm over the wicket to the left-hander, who plays this one out to cover. It is stopped by the fielder. And there is, again, just a single. Hossain contributed 33 to the 52 the partnership is worth now. Yakar Ali has contributed 16 thus far in the partnership. And we have 2 more deliveries remaining. The current run rate is 6.3. Tushara coming in right arm over the wicket. And Yakar steps back, goes down on one knee and pulls him from outside the off stump towards mid-wicket. There is another single, 106 for 5. In the slog overs thus far, they have made 13 runs. The slog overs are generally considered to be 16 to 20. So we are in the 17th now, 1 more delivery left in the 17th, and Bangladesh have thus far made 13 runs in the slog overs. They have not lost any wickets, so that's good, but yeah, I don't know. In comes Tushara, and he bowls right arm over the wicket to the left-hander Shamim, angles it across him, and it is on the verge, or just inside the tram lines, so almost a wide, but it's not given as one. And we have support staff for the Bangladeshis out in the middle. There are changes of gloves handed out. There are towels out. Are there drinks as well? I think this is where during the game against Hong Kong, the drinks came out again. At that time, there was Liton Das was out there at the time. I can't see it. I'm shown a lot of fans from both teams dancing in the stand. Everyone seems to be having quite a good time. The Bangladesh fans don't seem disheartened by the fact that at this rate I can see there are 3 more overs coming up. They made 13 in, yeah, that's 120 by the fact that they might actually make less than 130. Jamira is coming in, and he is bowling right arm over the wicket to the right-handed Yakar Ali. And is this given as a wide? Yes, it is given as a wide. I don't see how that could not be a wide, given as a wide down the arse, which means down the leg side in this case, or in any case, basically. In comes Chamira again. This one, an attempted Yorker, very low full toss from him, and Yakar Ali plays it out towards mid-on, and there is a single. As we are seeing replays of the wickets. Yeah, so there haven't been that many boundaries scored. There has not been scored any 6. That's first of all, and I think 6 or 7 fours have been scored. So it's been all done in singles. We have seen a 3 in this match, In comes Chamira, right arm over the wicket to the left-handed Shamim. Angles it across him, almost wide outside the off stump, but Shamim gets the toe of his bat to it, which was probably his error, because if he had let that go, it might have been called a wide. This way it is a single, 109 for 5. 56 of 46 deliveries, the current partnership between Shamim and Yaqir Ali. In comes Chamira again, full toss, hip height to Yaqir Ali, who pulls him towards deep backward, square leg, and they run a couple of runs, 111. Oh, we are now okay. Okay, I'm doing it. Rhubarb, I hope you're happy. Yeah. Yeah, getting the mic gallow out of it. Okay, so here. See? Standing on one leg. In comes Chamira again to Yaqir Ali, right arm over the wicket, and this one is played to mid off by Yaqir Ali. They take a single and I can sit down again. Great! Okay. Here we go. Bangladesh 112 for 5. 19 scored during the slog overs, but no further losses for the Tigers. Think I need another beer. Just a second. Right. Another cold Astra. That's just what the doctor ordered. 7 extras have been conceded by the Sri Lankan bowlers this innings, so that's pretty good. But it's been a low-scoring game, all things told. Another single of the 5th delivery, final delivery for Shamira's 3rd over coming up, and that is almost a caught and bowled, but I think he played it into the ground from where it bounced towards the hands of the bowler Shamira. 113 after 18 for the Tigers. Now comes what people generally refer to as the most important over in any T20 innings, the 19th. I'm not really certain I can get the justification for that or the explanation for that. I'll get it right. If you're interested in that, you should probably look at something, or you should search for Jared Kimber 19th over T20s or something like that. He wrote a piece on why the 19th over is more important than the 20th. Doesn't matter if you are batting first or batting second. Patirana is back, and we might see the first. Yes, it's the first 6 of the innings, the first 6 of the match. Shamim has hit Patirana for 6 runs, 119 for 5, 19th over, and yeah. That's a gorgeous lofted shot over the leg side. It goes over deep mid-wicket. Very, very good shot. it's in the slot, and maybe Patirana is just missing his length a little bit here. None for 30 for him thus far. This is his final over of the match. It's the fourth. Current run rate is 6.55, 119 for 5. In he comes again, slingy action. This one is so wide outside the leg stump, and it swings or bounce or seams after bouncing, and it is given as wide. The keeper can't get to it, and a fielder behind square on the leg side has to stop it to prevent the boundary. It's given as a wide. The Bangladeshis have run one regardless, so 121 for 5. Current run rate is 6.66. Nice, the number of the beast. Shamim now has 40. He has brought up his 40, and that means he is the highest scorer for Bangladesh in this innings by quite some margin. 11 runs. Patirana tries a wide Yorker. Yaka Ali is looking to get back onto that one, but it is called a wide again. 122 for 5. Still 18.1 overs bowled, because wides don't count as legal deliveries. 10 extras now, and Bangladesh are 122 for 5. Patirana coming in, right arm over the wicket, and this one is sliced aerially by by Shamim. Is it? No, it's Yakar Ali. They run 2. Yes, 122. It was the delivery before that. 124 for 5. Yes, Yakar on strike. In comes Patirana, and he persists with his attempts to bowl wide Yorkers. This one is called wide again, though, so 125 for 5, and yeah, they might actually make 130. Sanath Jayasuriya tries to look stoic in the dugout of Sri Lanka, but it's starting to get, it seems to be getting harder for him. We have long off, deep third. We have long on and a deep mid wicket. We also have deep point. In comes Patirana, and he slices it into the offside. Yaka does, and is that a drop? Is that a drop? Sliced square, and I think they take a couple of runs. Let's see. No, it bounces just before. It bounces just before the fielder. He loses sight of it as it bounces, hits him on the shoulder as he dives forward. Next one is cut, but there is deep point to stop it. And that is another couple of runs. 129 for 5. Yakar Ali has brought up his 30, 33, and 36. The runs have been scored by Bangladesh in the slog overs. Patirana brings up his 40 from 3.4 overs. Yakar Ali is on strike. He's on 33 of 29. In comes Patirana, right arm over the wicket, and that's a weird shot by Yakar Ali. He almost does the splits. Looks like he is looking for a scoop shot. At the last split second, decides against it and just guides backward of square leg. and that is a single run. Final delivery of the 19th coming up, 130 for 5, and now the Sri Lankan fans seem a bit nervous. Wanindu Hasaranga in shot there. He seems to be resetting the field a bit. Full toss from Patirana, but Bangladesh can Yakar Ali can only play that one out to mid-wicket, and that's a single. 19 overs gone. Current run rate of 6.89, and Bangladesh can be very, very happy, or should be very happy with where they are at this stage of the match, given the fact that they lost both their openers for ducks before scoring any runs. Let's have a look. At social media, Rhubarb says Chimera was a monstrous fire-breathing hybrid creature from Lycia, Asia Minor. Yes, indeed. It's a creature from classical Greek mythology, but also today used as a technical term in biology. In genetics, there can be in genetics weird shit can happen in biology. And there can be organisms that are viable, so they can live, that can have two different sets of DNA, and that is also called a chimera. Now we are seeing replays of Chimera's Yorkers. I don't really know why, but we get to see them anyway. Oh, well, because he's bowling, yeah, okay. 131 for 5. Second delivery, in comes a Chimera, right arm over the wicket to the left-handed Shamim, who plays this out to deep backward point. They take another single. Yakar Ali is back on strike. 132 for 5. 4 more deliveries left in the innings. As I said, they can be very, very, or should be very, very happy with where they are after the disastrous start they got. What was it? Fifth over of the innings, and the run rate was below 1 or something like that. Weird shit. In comes Chimera, right arm over the wicket, bowled onto the pads of Yakar Ali, who almost falls over, clipping that off his pads, and they have run a couple of runs. 134 for 5. 3 more deliveries left to go. Yakar Ali is now on strike. Chimera figures of 1 for 12 from 3.3 overs. As we are seeing replays of Yakar Ali almost falling over. That's a very, very good Yorker. That's a toe breaker. In comes Chimera, right arm over the wicket. Yakar Ali is looking for the scoop, and the non-striker Shamim has come halfway down the pitch, and so Mendes, the keeper, is throwing the ball over the head of Yakar Ali to Chimera in hopes of getting the ball to his bowler to effect a run out at the non-strikers, and because that scoop shot didn't really work. Penultimate delivery. In comes Chimera, right arm over the wicket, and Yakar Ali steps back to give himself room, and this one is sliced into the offside, finds the boundary. 138 for 5. 138 for 5. Even better than ESPN Cricinfo predicted Sri Lanka still favorites according to Cricinfo. Win percentage of 77.84%. All right, Dushmanta Chamira. In he comes very consistently above 140 kilometers per hour, full toss, and this one is hacked towards long on by Yakar Ali, and he ends on 41 not out. His batting partner Shamim ends on 42 not out. 139 after 20 overs for the Tigers. A respectable score after the start they got. The pitch doesn't seem to have that much pace in it. Only 1-6 was scored in the whole of the innings. And I will give you the very, very short and abbreviated highlights. After Bangladesh lost both their opening batsmen for ducks, before any runs were on the board, Lytton Das, the captain, then tried a repair job. Mostly succeeded, but there are only 3 double-figure scores in the innings. That's Lytton Das with 28, Yakar Ali, who made 41 not out, and Shamim Hossain 42 not out. Everyone else in single scores. Khridoy had to go for 8, and Mahedi Hassan for 9. 11 extras mean that Bangladesh end on 139 for 5. Pick of the bowlers was probably the spinner Wanindu Hasaranga. He took 2 wickets for 25, and both Dushmanta Chamira and Nuwan Tushara took 1 wicket each, both with identical figures. 4 overs bowled, 1 maiden, 17 runs and 1 wicket. That's remarkable. 2 bowlers with identical figures involving a maiden in a T20. Anyway, when we come back, Sri Lanka will have to chase down a target of 140. I will see if there are any more social media messages, and then I will take a short break for the innings break, and I will be back with you again after that for the chase of Sri Lanka in full epic length. Here we go. Let's see. Rubab says the things one learns from the Asia Cup. Yes, absolutely. I think that's a reference to my explanation of what a chimera is in biology. Nathan says, good on Bangladesh to make a score that is possible to win with after the way they started. Yes, absolutely. They have done a fantastic job to give their bowlers something to bowl at after that disastrous start. And yeah, I mean, this is also the first match for Sri Lanka in this Asia Cup. Let's see how they deal with this pitch. Anyway, as I said, I will take a short break, and I will be with you in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back.
Stand by for action. Anything can happen in the next half hour.
And we are back. Hello and welcome back, everyone. Let me just readjust the settings on the screen. Here we go. Yes, we are back with the chase in the fifth match of the Asia Cup 2025 between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. Bangladesh, after a disastrous start, may I remind everyone or summarize the game for people who might have joined after the innings break based on my Blue Sky message. Bangladesh started terribly. Both openers gone for ducks, 2 wickets down before they made any runs, before they had any runs on the board, really. And from there, they recovered to 139 for 5, thanks largely to 3 batsmen. Captain Litandas made the start, and then it was Yakar Ali and Shamim Hossain who remained not out, both of them, who were too good for the Sri Lankan bowling attack. Strike rates of around 120 for the both of them. 139 for 5 in what looks to be a competitive total, I would say. So let's see if Shoriful Islam can also make early breakthroughs for Bangladesh here. He is opening the bowling for the Tigers. And the batsmen are Pathum Nissanka and Kusal Mendes. Pathum Nissanka, a right-hander. Both of them are right-handers, actually. Pathum Nissanka and Kusal Mendes. 7 seconds to go now. Do I make the stupid Datsunka joke about Pathum, which I will explain after the over. In comes Shoriful Islam, left arm over the wicket to the right-hander, and that is a dot ball as Nissanka can't get it past the infield. There was a bit of a yes, no, maybe. It was fielded, and the non-striker Mendes was way out of his crease, but the throw from the Bangladeshi fielder was wide of the stumps. In comes Shoriful again, left arm over the wicket, clipped off the pads by Datsunka, and that is Sri Lanka up and running. 1 run on the board, 2 fewer wickets lost in their innings. The target, may I remind everyone, is 140. So Sri Lanka won the toss. All right, I seem to be back. Another single taken by Sri Lanka. They are 3 without loss. I'm sorry for the connection problems. YouTube is in a very, very bad state at the moment. It's absolutely broken. They of course they do need some new bullshit AI stuff now, because that's the thing to have these days for any tech website, which is absolute bullshit. 95% of all companies using AI in any capacity have reported that it doesn't increase productivity. In most cases, actually lowering productivity. Shoriful bowls a bouncer for his final delivery, and there is a cheeky ramp shot from Mendes. But there is a fielder down at deep third man, and that means they can only run a single. So Sri Lanka end their first over on 4 without loss. So, and now to the joke. Patum Nisanka, called Datsunka, because obviously it's a joke about cars. Nissan, the Japanese automaker, used to sell their cars under the badge name Datsun. They, if I remember correctly, they sold them as Datsuns in Japan to begin with, then changed the name to Nissan, which is, I think it's the family name of the family owning the Zaibatsu. As we get the fizz. People, it's time for the fizz. He comes in left arm over the wicket. That most unicorn of modern bowlers, the cutter bowler. What other bowler uses cutters as their stock delivery? He has cut back a bit on his cutter use in recent times, opting for more of a control approach. But when he started, he was a cutter bowler. Over 70% of his balls were cutters. For all those who are new to or a bit newer to cricket, it's basically a cutter is a cross between a pace delivery and a spin delivery, or you could say it's a spin delivery delivered at pace. There are no clear boundaries. The boundaries are very, very undefined. Who is a cutter bowler? Who is a fast spinner? I'm always thinking about former Indian head coach Anil Kumble when talking about this stuff, because he was technically classified as a spinner. He never really spun it that much. He bowled leg spin. He never really spun it that much. He bowled very, very fast for a spinner, and his main weapon was flight and bounce. He beat batsmen in the air, or he beat them with bounce, and he was very, very successful with that. He's in the top 5 wicket takers of all time in Test cricket, and in comes the fizz again, and there is a flat batted 6. That's a flat batted 6 by Nisanka. 6 runs flat and far into the onside. And Sri Lanka 12 without loss now. So yeah, back to Nissan. I think it's the family name of the family that owns that Zaibatsu that produces in Nissans. And during the 70s and 80s, I think the Nissan sold their cars, which were sold as Nissans all around the world, but in America they were sold as Datsuns still. Kurt Cobain's first car was a Datsun. Anyway, quick single after that flat batted 6 from Patum and Nisanka. So that's the very, very verbose explanation for the stupid joke of calling Patum Nisanka Datsunka. Anyway, in comes the fizz, and he has Kusal Mendes caught behind of an outside edge as he angles one across him that Mendes looks to push into the offside. First wicket is down for Sri Lanka, 13 for 1.5 overs in, target 140. And that should bring in Mishara at number 3 for Sri Lanka, as Kusal Mendes has to go. He is out, caught behind Liton Das. Bowled Mustafizur Rahman for 3 of 6 deliveries, strike rate of 50, and the Bangladeshi bowling attack has their first breakthrough. Obviously, since the Tigers started so horribly, if you look at the worm graph on ESPN Cricket Info, Sri Lanka are still way ahead of them. Yeah, but that's basically my stupid joke about Pathum Nissanka. Do you have any favorite jokes about cricketers' names? Tell me yours. I'll tell you mine because I have a few more in up my sleeve, as they say. Kamil Mishara is in at number 3. Now we have confirmation from the television screen. Yeah, come on, give us some of his stats. No? Okay. He's a left-handed batsman, and the fizz is coming in. There is a slip in place for Mishara now, but he plays it out into the onside, where it is stopped inside the ring. There is no run, so 2 overs gone. Sri Lanka 13 for 1. Yeah. Let me remind you, everyone who is watching, please abuse that like button. That really helps a small channel like mine. It really, really helps. Absolutely. If you are watching and don't want to miss any more of the coverage of the Asia Cup that is coming up here on this channel, and you are not subscribed, consider subscribing. It doesn't cost you anything, and it will mean that if I schedule a live stream or do a live stream, as I will do tomorrow for Pakistan versus India, for example, you will get notified of that. You should activate notifications for that one though. But you can do that on a stream-by-stream basis, because if you look through your subscriptions, I schedule a live stream, that live stream will show up in your notifications, and below that live stream, that thumbnail for the live stream, there will be a button that says notify me. You can click that and it will notify you of that specific live stream starting. So you won't be notified of every video I upload, but for the live streams you can just check your subscriptions. It will show up there and you can opt to get notified of those live streams. So thank you in advance, everyone, for that. (14 for 1) Sri Lanka after 2.2 overs. The third over is bowled by Shoriful Islam, who started proceedings for the day for the Bangladesh bowling attack. We see Kamil Mishra has a strike rate of 128, and he has 150 in his T20 international career, which is very, very short indeed. He is playing in his 6th, or is it the 7th? Let's have a look. No, it is his 6th innings. So he has played 5 T20 internationals before that and made a 50 in 20% of those. That's not bad. That's really not bad. Shoriful Islam bowling a wide now. Mishara is looking to fish outside his off stump. Is very, very fortunate there indeed that he doesn't get any bat on that, because that would have probably been a caught behind, as Litzendas takes that no problem. We see backward point, cover, and mid-off for Shoriful Islam. 13 meters between backward point and point, 16 meters between point and cover, and then about 23 meters between cover and mid-off. Another dot ball of the 4th delivery. 15 for 1. 8 dots this innings. So, Mishara is still on a duck of 4 deliveries in this 6th innings of his T20 international career. Mustafizur Rahman is standing at 3rd man here. There is a slip. This one is lofted towards deep backward point by Mishara, and he is off the mark, 1 of 5. Nissanka is back on strike, 16 for 1 after 2.5 overs. One more delivery left in Shoriful Islam's 2nd over. He has figures of none for 7 for the night. Target, I reminder, 140. One more delivery coming up now. Nissanka to face it. Shoriful is at the top of his mark. He has thrown the ball by the fielder from mid-on, and he is getting ready. Nissanka is taking guard. In comes Shoriful, left arm over the wicket to Nissanka, who slices that towards cover, and they take another single. So Mishara would be on strike if not for the end of the over. So Nissanka is hugging the strike. He is 11 of 7. Mishara 1 of 5. Sri Lanka after 3, 17 for 1. Let's see if ESPN Crick Info informs me of the run rate, which they will certainly do. The current run rate is 5.66 after 3 overs. 4 runs coming off that 3rd over. Let's see if anyone is with us after the break. Again, use the chat. I'm always willing to talk to you, to any listener. Tanzim gets his 1st over, and he is cut to the boundary, first ball by Nissanka. Or square driven, rather. That's a square drive. Yeah, he is driven square to the boundary. And Sri Lanka move on to 21 for 1 now. That should mean the current run rate has crossed 6. Yes, 6.21. The required run rate is somewhere around 7. Or shortly above 7. Remember, it's 20 overs, so a run rate of 6 is... Oh, I've lost my pictures. That's bad. That's really, really bad. Let's see if I can find an alternate server. Yes, I can. Here we go. I have pictures back. Sorry everyone. It's always a bit of a hassle with getting the pictures, and because I live in Germany, obviously, I have to rely on streaming services for my cricket watching, and German internet connections are probably among the worst in Europe, because during the 90s we had a very, very corrupt government, and I think the brother-in-law of one of the government officials had a very, very bad, a very, very almost insolvent copper business. And so when there was a discussion about renewing or replacing IT infrastructure, Germany opted against laying fiberglass or optic cables, and instead bought a shitload of copper from some guy who was related to members of the government. So yeah, thank you, Helmut Kohl, or no, I think it was one FDP, liberal Democrat guy who was in with this shit. So thank you very, very much for that. Anyway, Nissanka hits no, he doesn't. He gets 4 buys, or Sri Lanka get 4 buys. Then there is another leg buy. They get 4 leg buys and a leg buy. Nissanka is on 15 of 12. Mishara 1 of 7, and Shoriful Islam is getting a 3rd over in the 5th. Sri Lanka currently 26 for 1. The target is 140. They need what is going on there? Nissanka throwing the bat at it, trying to pull behind the keeper. He almost gets away with it, because this is given as a wide. They run 1, and also it's a wide. So 2 runs of that illegal delivery. And Sri Lanka move on to 28 for 1. Now Mishara is on strike. Shoriful Islam is bowling his 3rd over, as I said. 4.1 overs gone, and Shoriful is coming in left arm over the wicket to the left-handed Mishara. And there is a drop at mid-on by Mahedi as Mishara is looking to pull Shoriful aerially. That's a drop. 30 for 1. He got a life there. And I think, yeah, Mahedi, he almost had it in his hands. Can't hold it down though. Bounces out. He falls over face first. And Mishara is dropped on 1 by Mahedi. They run a couple, so now it's 30 for 1. Mishara attempting to cut a short one from Shoriful. Doesn't get a bat on it, and Liton Das behind the stumps takes it. There is no run. This is basically, or at this stage, the rally from Bangladesh started. They now started to score more quickly. Still lost a few wickets, but the final partnership is quite a big one in this innings for Bangladesh. So Sri Lanka will look to accelerate early to give themselves some room for error should they lose wickets later in the innings. The final wicket to fall for Bangladesh was basically at the halfway stage. Yeah, one delivery before drinks was the final wicket for Bangladesh to fall. So, but Shoriful Islam to Mishara, and Mishara is looking like he's intent on using that life he was given by Mahedi. 6 runs, now a cut shot, and he pierces the cordon on the offside, and that is 4 runs. So 10 runs in 2 deliveries, and that is really, really good for Sri Lanka. Liton Das behind the stumps doing the double teapot. Yeah, looking pretty good for Sri Lanka right now, but they need to keep that up. Because that final partnership between the numbers, what was it? Yeah, I don't. It doesn't matter. It was with Yakarali and Shamim. That was pretty good. They had a pretty good run rate going. The partnership is 86 not out of unbroken, 86 out of 61. So, but Mishara is now showing that he can open up. 3 boundaries in a row, 1 6 and 2 4s, 44 for 1 after 5. Sri Lanka. Kamil Mishara on 17 of 12, Patum Nisanka on 15 of 12. Let's see if anyone is with us in the YouTube chat. No new messages, but yeah, if you are watching, feel free and please do message me on the YouTube chat. That also makes it a bit easier for me. It's not just me talking, or me talking or screaming into the void behind the eye of my camera or the lens of my camera, but having some real dialogue, kind of. It's asynchronous, sure, but it's a dialogue. Yeah. Anyway, we are seeing highlights of the last over now. So not much happening at the moment. Spin for the first time in the Bangladesh innings. It is Mahedi, and he is bowling right arm around the wicket to the left-hander. That is Nisanka, and he takes him for a single into the offside. 46 for 1. Mahedi Hassan, 65 matches, 57 wickets, average 26.12. Economy of over 6. Best of 4 for 11 in a T20 international. As the screen reminds me that Mishara was dropped on 1 by Mahedi. .47 for 1 after 5.3 overs, and Mishara is on strike. He looks to be he looks like he is trying to play the role of aggressor, and he does. Swings 1 to a cow corner, swings 1 over cow corner to be exact, because this is the second 6 of this match. Of this innings. Sorry, it's the third of the match, the second of the innings, because remember, the Bangladeshis were trying to build their total basically on quick running. Some of the time it worked, some of the time it didn't. There was a run out, but there was also the very, very interesting and very spectacular looking dive, the Superman dive to save oneself. And if Nathan is still listening, Nathan, if you want to see, it's not a Superman dive to prevent a run out, but it's a Superman dive, and it has to do with a run out. Look for Jonty Rhodes, Jonty, and Rhodes, Rhodes. He's a South African player from the 90s. And there is a run out that involves him and Inzamam the Potato Ul Haq. Inzamam was a dreadful runner between the wickets. Because he's a fat lad. And there is one instance where Jonty Rhodes takes the ball. He's the fielder. He's a South African fielder, and he takes the ball, and he is running towards the wicket. He's basically on the crease. So a direct hit, he thinks, is not an option because the target is too small. He's throwing at one stump in this instance. So he's just running full steam towards the stumps, then jumps off, Superman dive, the ball in his right hand, and knocks over all 3 stumps with his right arm. And Inzamam ul Haq is run out. It is one of the greatest instances of a run out in cricket history. It's in an ODI, I think. Yeah, it's in an ODI. It's in the 90s. There were no T20s in the 90s, so it's an ODI. Yeah, Jonty Rhodes. Nissanka threads one through the offside cordon. There is another boundary for Sri Lanka in it, 61 for 1, and yeah, now they are looking dominant. They are looking dominant. Not even Mustafizur Rahman seems to be any problem for the Sri Lankan batsman after the early dismissal of Kusan Mendis. Patum Nissanka and Kamil Mishara look very, very certain here. That's a pretty dominant. That's a pretty dominant display from them here. They are almost halfway there. We are in the 7th over, and they have lost only 1 wicket. ESPN Crick Info has them as 95% favorites, almost 96% favorites. Oh, fuck, my neighbor with his fucking tractor. And another boundary. This time it is from Nissanka, also into the offside, the left-hander this time. And the partnership has reached 50. 52 unbroken between these two. 52 runs of 30 deliveries. And Sri Lanka look to be in the driver's seat. They are absolutely on it here. Let's have a look. Dot ball for Nissanka of the 5th delivery of the 7th over, and that means there is one more. The partnership is 52 unbroken, 19 from Nissanka and 25 from Mishara. Final delivery of Mustafizur Rahman's 2nd over. He has figures of 1 for 19 thus far in this match. In he comes again, left arm over the wicket to the right-handed Nissanka. And that is another single. So that means Sri Lanka end the 7th over on 66 for 1. Let's have a look if anyone is with us in the chat. Nathan saying, Jonty Rhodes' run out is incredible. Yeah, Jonty Rhodes it's incredible. And basically, he was apart from that highlight run out, he's not that noticeable a cricketer in that South African team, or in the South African team in general past apartheid. South Africa was readmitted into cricket in '94, I think, and they were really good cricketers. Shane Pollock is in that generation, whose father was also a very, very good cricketer, but he was part of that lost generation that never really played international cricket, and because South Africa was boycotted and left out in the cold because of the racist apartheid policies of the government. Those players have every right to be bitter, because they were not racist. They were actually also censured by the government, because they wanted to include colored players in their domestic system in the teams, and they did so, they were denied by the government. They were and then there was, of course, Hansi Cronje, who is known for other stuff than being a good cricketer, which he was, but he's, of course, known for spot fixing and being a crook. So Jonty Rhodes was never really the superstar in that kind of team, but basically on that one highlight alone, the run out of Inzamam ul Haq, that pays his bills to this day. He is the fielding coach of the Mumbai Indians, so every time the IPL comes around every year, Jonty Rhodes is given a paycheck by the Ambani family, and it's probably not a bad paycheck, based only or solely on that run out. There is another boundary, this time very straight down the ground, behind the keeper, by Nissanka. 73 for 1 as Richard is bowling now, his spin. There is a slip in place for him, and not much what the Tigers try seems to be working that much. We are now seeing highlights of the boundaries from Mishara. As Richard comes in, this one is called a wide, so Sri Lanka move on to 75 for 1. They're over halfway there, and we are in only the 8th over of the innings. So Richard coming in, and he is taken down the ground relatively straight by Mishara. That's another for 79 for 1. Sri Lanka now 7.4 overs gone. They have their required run rate is way below 6. That's the 6th for of the innings. They need 61 more runs of 74 deliveries, something like that. So the run rate is below 6 now for Sri Lanka. From here on, that should be a routine thing. Mishara cuts away the next delivery. It is fielded out in the deep. Richard now has conceded 14 of his first over. One more delivery is left to come, and Sri Lanka have brought up the 80 for 1, 7.5 overs gone to win 60 of 73. In comes Richard again, swivel pulled on one knee by Nissanka. There is the next boundary at deep backward square leg. 84 for 1 after 8 overs. Let's have a look at social media or the YouTube chat. Rhubarb is saying, I think teams like having at least one good fielder in the squad. Yeah, of course. Fielding has started to be thought about much more during the T20 age, basically. But Jonty Rhodes is still someone who is a bit weird, because he is basically the prototype of the specialist fielder. People are making jokes about Ravindra Jadeja being a specialist fielder, but he's also a very good left arm spinner. that can bowl a lot of overs in red ball cricket. And he's not half bad in white ball cricket either. And he's also a pretty good batsman. He has 3 triple hundreds in domestic first class cricket. He has test hundreds, stuff like that. So, and he's one of the best fielders in the modern game. Mahedi coming in, pulled by Nissanka, boundary again. 89 after 8.2 overs. Now Sri Lanka, 8 fours this innings. Remember, this is probably, well, I mean, they probably won't have to do that much here, Sri Lanka, but it's always nice to win early, to win convincingly, just so the net run rate doesn't bite you at the end of the group stage. And if Sri Lanka can clobber Bangladesh here, they will be in a very, very good position, but because one of their upcoming games will be against Hong Kong. They need 50 from 69 deliveries. Now they are 90 for 1 after 8.3 overs. The required run rate is 4.35. Nissanka on 40, Mishara on 32. In comes Mahedi. Mishara plays him over his head. There is a fielder out in the deep. That's Richard. He is coming in and fielding the ball at long on, and that means there is only a single in that for the Sri Lankans. 91 for 1, and in the dugout, Sanath Jayasuriya has noticeably started to relax again. Nissanka, this time over the offside, but again there is a fielder coming in and there's only a single in it for the Sri Lankans. 92 for 1, but singles will do them fine. If they can take a single of every, at least a single of every delivery, it will decrease the required run rate. Anyway, there's some nonsense appeal for as Mishara obviously inside edges the ball onto his own pad. And after 9 overs, Sri Lanka are 92 for 1. Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, I thought the 139 that Bangladesh made during their innings looked competitive at the end of it. A bit shaky, probably. They could have done much better if they didn't have that top order collapse again. But I didn't see such a domination here by Sri Lanka. We are halfway through their innings. They are almost there. They have only left Kusal Mendis, the first wicket, the only wicket to fall for Sri Lanka. They need 42 more runs to win here. This is pretty dominant. I would say. Good for them, obviously. And I mean, I kind of expected them to win this match without that many problems. Now it's there's insult to injury for Mustafizur Rahman, who is bowling wides based on height, and still they go to the boundary. Does he get bet on that? No, he doesn't. But now he is getting wides called based on height. That was a bouncer that flew way over the head of the batsman. And that is 4 more runs. So 100 is up for Sri Lanka, 103. Then it is followed by a single by Nissanka of the next delivery, 104 for 1, 9.3 overs gone. 36 to win of 63. Nissanka is within reach of his 50. Mishara is on 33 of 21 deliveries. So yeah, that's looking pretty good for both of them. Both of them look settled in, got their eye in. Problems for the Tigers here. They need more from the Fizz, who has bowled 2.5 overs now and has figures of 1 for 32. Another aerial shot, but it falls short of the fielder at mid-on, and there is another single. 105 for 1. 35 of 62 required. Nissanka, he is on strike, 48 of 30. Mishara, 34 of 22. The Fizz, 1 for 33. That's not good enough. He should be the leader of this pace attack for Bangladesh. Cut by Nissanka, and it evades the fielder at backward point. The fielder coming around on the boundary from deep third man can prevent a boundary, but the Sri Lankans have run a couple, bringing up their 107 for 1. But more importantly, probably for Pathum Nissanka, is the fact that he is 50 not out. 50 not out for Pathum Nissanka, and one more delivery before the drinks break, I suspect. Yes, looks like it. Congratulations to Pathum Nissanka. 6 fours, 1 6. In comes Mustafizur Rahman, and it ends with a dot that is played out to point. And that means at halfway through their innings, Sri Lanka are 107 for 1. Let's have a look if anyone is with us on social media. Nathan says, feels like this will disqualify Bangladesh from the knockouts. Not really. They need another 2 points. Who else is in that group? Let me have a look. There's the table. Let's have a look at that on ESPN Cricinfo. They have already beaten Hong Kong. Afghanistan have beaten Hong Kong. Bangladesh have won against Hong Kong. Don't know. The Afghans are, depending on when they play them, they might get a bit sloppy. They destroyed Hong Kong in the first match, but they did it in a kind of sloppy way. So Bangladesh basically need 4 points to be in contention, but they can't lose too heavily here to save their net run rate. Anyway, that is drinks. I will have a very, very quick break, and I will be with you after the drinks break. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back very shortly. All right, and we are back. 11th over has started. It is bowled by Mahedi. So, back to some off breaks from the Bangladesh skipper Liton Das behind the stumps. A single of the first delivery. In comes Mahedi, right arm over the wicket. Relatively full, and Nisanka misses it. And Liton Das loses his right glove in an attempt to take it. He stops it. There is no run, so no damage done. In he comes again, and this one is pulled, and it is pulled straight to deep square leg, and Patum Nisanka falls shortly after the drinks break. 108 for 2, the Sri Lankans now. Patum Nisanka has to go. He is out caught Shoriful bowled Mahedi for 50 of 34 deliveries, 147.05 the strike rate. But I can't help myself but feel like that is too little too late. It was a very, very flat battered attempt at a 6, what Gorilla Cricket probably would call a maximum. Didn't work this way, picked out the fielder at deep square leg, and that is that. Always great fun to watch cricket on digital streaming services, because most carry Willow Cricket, and Willow Cricket is a service for basically for expat Indians. It is for expat Indians in the USA. So they have their own advertisement blocks. They don't have the international advertisement blocks or the Indian advertisement blocks or something like that. And the advertisements on Willow Cricket are mostly some bullshit numerologists and astrologists catering to the Indian community out in the United States, which is always quite fun to watch. But now we have Kusal Pereira in 82 matches in his career, and he starts it off with an attempt at a reverse sweep. There is a half-hearted appeal for LBW, but that goes nowhere. Pereira, 2 dot balls to start his innings thus far. He is taking strike again, the left-hander. In comes Mahedi, right arm around the wicket, and this time Kusal Pereira can clip one off his pads towards backward square leg, and there is a single. He is off the mark now. Sri Lanka 109 for 2 after 11 overs, the target being 140. That I don't know, that seems very speculative, or the chances of Bangladesh are very, very academic, or only mathematically of any importance, because Sri Lanka are, according to Cricinfo, favorites by 99.41%. Insert. So you say there is a chance, from I think Dumb and Dumber. Another clip of his hit, this time by Kusal Pereira, to start the 12th over, and Sri Lanka move on to 110 for 2. Yeah. Ow! I'm reminded because does anyone in the chat possibly know of a good digital or a program, an app, for a soundboard where you have on the screen, where you have buttons that you can click, that you can bind to different sound bites, because I'm really looking for one, and I haven't found one that I really dig. So if anyone in the chat has any experience with that kind of thing, and knows a good app, preferably open source, because that's free. Yeah, I'm open to any suggestion. Mishara is now on strike. He plays a late cut and he finds the boundary, and that means Sri Lanka are 115 for 2, and Tanzim, who is bowling his second over now, has figures of none for 10. This is relatively safe to say. I think that this is done. They are going through the motions. On drive from Mishara, which is fielded, but Sri Lanka successfully rotate the strike. 116 for 2, 11.3 overs gone, 24 of 51. The required run rate has now dropped below 3. Anyway, it brings Kusal Pereira back onto strike. He's 2 of 4. Mishara, with that single, has made his 40. As Tanzim continues right arm over the wicket to the left-hander Pereira. Angles one across him. Pereira looking to guide it down to third man, maybe. Misses it. There is no run. Litondas takes it. Dot ball 116 for 2 after 11.4. Still, the required run rate is below 3. In comes Tanzim again, and this time he is muscled out towards long on. Sri Lanka taking a single, 117 for 2, 23 of 49. One more delivery in Tanzim's second over to come. Figures of none for 12 thus far for him. And now Mishra is getting ready to face him. And Tanzim stays over the wicket for the other left-hander as well. Angles one across him, missed by Mishara. 117 for 2 after 12 overs, 23 more runs required. All right. Also keep an eye out. I think it was during the last match, the Bangladesh versus Hong Kong match, I cracked 100. I think it was during the last match. I cracked 100 subscribers. So, first international century. And I promised a while back, when I get to 100 subscribers, I will celebrate in style. I have here. Whoop. I have a cricket bat, and I'm going to do a Ravindra Jadeja sword dance with it to celebrate my first international subscriber century. I'm thinking about this because right now it's raining cats and dogs outside again here in Germany. And I'm not going to swing around that bat in this tiny bedroom. When the weather gets better, I will film that. I will upload that one. And also, if you have any questions, have a look at the posts on my channel. Because I also plan on doing a Q&A for my 100 subscriber special. half-hearted appeal for LBW as Kusal Pereira tries to swivel pole, misses one, gets hit. It's not given on the field by the umpire. There is discussion about whether to review that, and at this stage, with Sri Lanka being 123 for 2, there is absolutely no harm in wasting that review from Sri Lanka, from Bangladesh's point of view. And we see a replay. There is absolutely no bat involved. The batsman is hit as he is standing very, very square in front of the wicket. He is hit on the left knee roll with his leg extended outside of his stump. That might be a problem because it's not hitting in line. And it's impact in line and it's hitting. The review is retained. The original decision was not out because it is hitting middle stump 3/4 of the way up, and the on-field umpire is revising his decision, and Kusal Pereira has to go for 9 of 9 at a strike rate of 100. He is out. LBW bowled Mahedi. Sri Lanka 1, 2, 3 for 3. And that brings us to another ad break. This time it's not for some numerologist or Ayurveda doctor or something like that, but it is for credit services and gas stations, because it's America, and every fucking vehicle in the ad is an absolute gas guzzler that probably uses almost as much diesel or fuel per 100 kilometers, yes, kilometers, as a Leopard 2 tank. And the Leopard 2 tank has a diesel engine that has a displacement of 50 effing liters. Yes. Nasun Shanaka is in, and he is off the mark right away with the single. 1, 2, 4 for 3 after 12.4 overs. Target 140. Mahedi Hassan is bowling his fourth over. He is bowling fourth over. He's bowled out now. And that we are seeing replays of the wicket now. Let's have a look. 2 singles after that wicket. So Chanaka is back on strike now for the final delivery of the 13th over. And Mahedi comes in and Chanaka defends it back to the bowler. No chance of a caught and bowled, but Mahedi prevents any runs. 125 for 3 after 13 overs. Target still 140. So 15 more runs are required. And the Sri Lankans have 7 overs left in their innings to make those 15 runs. Let's have a look at at social media. Nate is saying, oh yeah, some of these vehicles in the States are crazy. Yeah, absolutely. As a European who doesn't have a driver's license, I can't understand it. But I know why you have those vehicles, because all your cities are built not for people but for vehicles. With the fuel consumption, some people just burning gas driving down the road. Yeah, and then there's this stupid stupid trend of coal rolling, where you basically hack your or modify your diesel engine so that it runs very, very rich, and there comes unburned fuel comes out of your exhaust, which is stupid in 3 ways. First, it's pollution. Second, it costs you money because it it feeds more fuel into the engine than it can burn. And third, it's stupid because it damages your engine. You reduce the lifespan of your engine. Tanzim is back, and he has a wicket. Second delivery of his over. Tanzim holds out to deep fine leg. That is the fizz down there. And Dasun Chanaka must go, or has to go, for 1 run. At least it's not a duck. He faced 3 deliveries for that 1 run. He is out, caught Mustafizur Rahman, bowled Tanzim Hassan Shakib. 1 of 3 deliveries, 33.33. The run rate. It's quite interesting to see the comparison on the worm graphic of these 2 innings, because the Bangladeshis lost all of their wickets in the first half of their innings, while the Sri Lankans lost 1 in the first half of their innings, but they have now lost 3 in the second half, where the Bangladeshis lost none. That brings Charit Asalanka out into the middle, in at number 6 for Sri Lanka. 126 for 4. In comes Tanzim and pulled first delivery. There is a fielder running really, really hard in the outfield, preventing the boundary, but Charit Asalanka is off the mark with a double. 128 for 4, 12 runs required. And Tanzim, the celebrations of the wicket of Shanaka by the Bangladeshi fielders and players were very, very muted. Tanzim didn't really seem to care that much. But yeah, sure. I mean, this match is done. Next one is a single. There is a chance of a run out because now the Sri Lankans seem to be getting a bit sloppy, taking a single that was never there here in this case. But the third umpire confirms he is safe. He is in maybe the length of a blade of a bat. Yeah. So the Sri Lankans will get them if they have to in singles. 11 left on their plate. Another replay of that not to be run out again. Yeah, that is absolutely fine. That's Asalanka, I think, who is running towards the striker's end. It's Mishara. Anyway, he is off strike again with another single. 130 up for Sri Lanka. 13.5 overs gone. Tanzim looks a bit deflated here. As we are seeing replays, that's Shanaka, caught very, very good, very well caught by Mustafizur Rahman, the Fizz. He looks like he's basically the only one who is elated at that wicket. Asalanka is on strike. Tanzim ends his day by getting carted for 6 over the onside. Down the ground goes Asalanka, and he moves on to 9 of 3. Sri Lanka end the 14th on 136 for 4. There are 4 more runs required for them to make to put a bow on it, basically. To put a bow on it. Nothing. It's nothing else. Mishara will be a bit miffed because he can make another 50 in T20s, T20 International 50, but it depends on him hitting 3 singles or 3 runs without Asalanka scoring, and then hitting a 6. Oh no! With him, he needs a single without Asalanka scoring more than 2, and then he needs to hit a 6. He hits a single. Hits single. Asalanka is on strike now. If Asalanka hits a single, which he does, dabs one into the offside, fielded at forward point, and Sri Lanka are 138 for 4. So Mishara has to hit a 6 here, otherwise there is no second T20 International 50. Defense one back towards the bowler, and there is no run. 2 more left on Sri Lanka's plate. 2 more runs to get to end this match. And here comes Shamim in, and there is a lot of confusion among the fielders in the offside for Bangladesh, and Mishara ends it with a couple of runs. Sri Lanka 140 for 4 in 14.4 overs, and that means Sri Lanka win by 6 wickets, and that is that. Sri Lanka win. All right, here we go. Sri Lanka win. Let's go through the highlights of that second innings real quick. That's the table. All right, we had a 50 and out from Patum Nisanka. We had 46 not out from Kamil Mishara, and Charad Asalanka ends the day on 10 not out. There were quite a few extras in this Bangladesh bowling lineup. 21 extras. The run rate by Sri Lanka was 9.54, in contrast to the 6.95 the Bangladeshis could muster. Pick of the bowlers is Mahedi Hassan for Bangladesh. He is the only bowler to take more than 1 wicket, but he goes at an economy rate of 7.25, which is the second best among the bowlers of Bangladesh. Only Shamim Hossain has a better economy rate. His one is 6.0, but only because he only bowled 4 deliveries in the innings and gave up 4 runs. So yeah, Sri Lanka win it in rather convincing fashion, I have to say. And yeah, please forgive me if I make this relatively short. Please remember, if you are listening, if you're watching this, click the like button. If you are not subscribed, I'd be over the moon if you subscribe to my channel. I will be back with you all for tomorrow's match between Pakistan and India. It's the big one in the league stage. That will be on this channel, and if you subscribe and activate notifications, you will be notified when this live stream starts tomorrow. It's at 4:30 Central European Standard Time, and I'd love to see you all there. Let's get over some final social media messages. Nate says, thank you for the commentary. You're very welcome, Nate. And everyone else, of course, you're also welcome. And that's it from me for today. Thank you very much, and have a nice day, rest of the day, everyone.